Princess unveils even more information about its brand new Sphere class. Pacific Adventure welcomes Carnival Splendor back home to Sydney, and we'll talk about the Disney booking debacle. I'm Adrian, the Cruise and Travel Guy. As always, thank you for subscribing to my channel, and if you haven't done so yet, please hit that subscribe button. Disney launched their long-awaited Australian cruise season to Aussie Disney lovers this week. After weeks of hype and build-up, including the drip feeding of information like itineraries and pricing to both travel agents and consumers, bookings finally went live on Thursday. The popularity of the cruise line's first ever Australian cruise season has been extreme, to say the least. It was a literal perfect storm of pent-up demand, limited supply, and a hurricane. Disney's Florida headquarters was impacted by the catastrophic Hurricane Ian, and according to reports, experienced intermittent power and system outages. As a result, Disney's contact center was understandably closed, and our collective thoughts are with everyone impacted by Hurricane Ian. In the weeks leading up to the launch, however, cruise wholesalers, which act as an intermediary between Disney and travel agencies, encouraged travel agents to accept pre-registrations, so as to ensure that everyone had the best chance possible of securing a cabin. Thousands of pre-registrations were received, and travel agents spent hours collating that information and making sure that the data was sent over to the cruise wholesalers. With bookings scheduled to open at 8 a.m. this past Thursday, it soon became apparent that there was an issue. Bookings in fact opened hours earlier at 1:30 a.m. local time. The general public soon caught wind, and by 8 a.m. the system began to fail. The public-facing Disney website was under so much strain that users were placed in a virtual queue. At the same time, travel agents and cruise wholesalers were experiencing the frustration of system errors, booking timeouts, and basically refreshing their system for hours on end, hoping to be able to secure some of the cabins that their clients had pre-registered for. Some of those clients at the same time were also trying to book their own cabins via the public website. I don't know to what extent Hurricane Ian had on our ability here in Australia to create bookings using the booking platform. It's obvious that the system was functioning earlier in the day, and to me, based on my experience and what I saw, it looks like it buckled under the pressure. The combined immense strain of Aussie Disney cruise lovers, as well as travel agents and cruise wholesalers, all trying to process many of the same bookings at the same time, undoubtedly caused issues. I have no doubt that in many cases there are multiple rooms held on particular sailings under the same names as a result of travel agents, cruise wholesalers, and then individuals themselves creating reservations all for the same people. To that end, if you are interested in any of the sailings that appear sold out at the moment, keep an eye out over the next few days, as I have a feeling some of those cabins will pop back into public inventory. I'm sure there are plenty of behind the scenes tech issues that I couldn't possibly begin to understand, and I'm also sure that Hurricane Ian had an impact. To what extent though, I don't know. What I do know is that creating such huge demand for a product, say in the way of Apple, is a lot more fun for the company than it is for the paying consumer. Other agents have also shared with me their experiences, and their sentiments line up with what I've shared with you today. At the end of the day, this was a botched product launch, and many of these issues should have been foreseen and mitigated with proper planning. Pre-registrations should never have occurred if the booking platform was going to open to the general public at the same time. It only serves to undermine the booking process by putting immense strain on the booking platforms that were already stretched to their limits based on what happened, and causing unnecessary angst for both travel agents, cruise wholesalers, and yourselves that just wanted to get on board the very first Disney Cruise Line sailings from Australia. On to brighter things. In a spectacular display this morning, Pacific Adventure welcomed Carnival Splendor back home to Sydney. Splendor's arrival comes at the conclusion of her Trans-Pacific repositioning voyage, with her return marking the end of a 2.5-year absence from Australian shores. Splendor will depart Sydney on Saturday, October 1st for a 4-night cruise to Moreton Island, and Carnival will be marking the occasion with a back to fun event at the Overseas Passenger Terminal on Saturday morning. Carnival President Christine Duffy will host a ribbon-cutting ceremony among other activities at the terminal. Princess Cruises have announced a new suite class experience when its latest ship, the Sun Princess, finally set sail in 2024. First up, Reserve Class will replace Club Class on the line's first Sphere class vessel. Guests staying in a new Cabana mini suite will be part of the reserve class, and for their extra dollars will receive access to an exclusive restaurant called Reserve. The Cabana mini suites come in two varieties themselves. The first one allowing guests to walk directly out of their cabana and onto a public shared deck space that is exclusively available for residents of the Cabana suites. For those seeking more privacy, they can choose a cabana that opens up to a private balcony. Full suites will now be part of the signature class. In addition to spacious accommodations, guests will have access to a specific signature restaurant and bar, as well as a lounge and outdoor private deck area within the sanctuary. The elevated suite experience brings Princess into line with some of its other competitors that have already gone down the path of a ship within a ship experience. That is, where suite class guests get exclusive access to particular areas on board the ship. And finally this week, as the North American summer cruise season finally winds down, Canada has announced the end of its COVID entry regulations. Many Alaskan cruise itineraries rely on calling into Canadian ports of call, and the country's strict entry regulations have been a headache for some travelers throughout this past summer cruise season. Effective from October 1st, all testing, quarantine, and isolation requirements for visitors to the country will be removed. These changes will make for a much more seamless travel experience when next year's Alaskan cruise season begins. That's it for this week's cruise news update. Wherever you are, thank you for watching, and if you are interested in booking a cruise, you can head to my website, thecruiseandtravelguy.com.au, and you can also give me a follow on Facebook and Instagram at The Cruise and Travel Guy. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Disney launched their long-awaited Aussie cruise season. The popularity of the Australia. On to brighter things. In a spectacular Pacific adventure welcomed home the Carnival Splendor. When their brand new Sun Princess first sailed. Effective from October 1st, all isolation, testing, and entry. Thank you.